The social event of Ottawa in 1924 was the wedding of Lois Booth to Prince Eric of Denmark. The momentous occasion would mark the only royal wedding to take place in the city, and indeed, all of Canada. Prince Eric of Denmark was the son of Prince Valdemar and Princess Marie of Orleans. He was first cousin to both King Christian X of Denmark and King George V of Great Britain. Lois Booth was a member of Ottawa high society, with a fondness for horseback riding and ice skating, and was a member of the charitable May Court Club and the Imperial Order Daughters of the Empire, and, in a way, was a member of Canadian royalty herself. She was the granddaughter of John Rodolphus Booth, often called J.R. Booth, the lumber baron who also owned many railways in Canada and was one of the largest suppliers of paper and pulp in North America. He had come to Ottawa back when it was still Bytown, where he first established himself in business and even supplied the lumber used to build the Parliament buildings. Lois's parents were J.R.'s son, John Frederick, and his wife Frances. The couple met in Lake Louise 7 years earlier. Prince Eric, who spoke English fluently, owned a ranch nearby and met Lois when she and her family were visiting Lake Louise. Others present at the meeting stated that it was love at first sight between the couple, and Prince Eric would visit Lois and her family at their home in Ottawa frequently over the next few years. The Danish royal family tends to live with a little more simplicity than others and inclines their members to be more industrious, and Prince Eric was frequently in Canada tending to his ranch. Members of the Danish royal family were pleased to accept the engagement because they knew it was a love match. The prince gave his bride-to-be a diamond and emerald engagement ring made from jewels that had been in the Danish royal family's possession for decades. The couple announced their engagement on December 26, 1923, with a wedding in the bride's hometown of Ottawa planned for early the next year. The couple would be in the city for the holidays, visiting with Lois's parents. It was Danish royal tradition that should a member of the royal family marry a commoner, they would renounce any rights to inherit the throne, which Prince Eric did, though he still kept all his royal duties and titles, and was named Count of Rosenborg by King Christian upon announcement of his engagement. The wedding took place on February 11, 1924, a chilly but sunny day in the nation's capital. Hundreds of telegrams were sent to the couple, including congratulations from King George V and Queen Mary of Great Britain, as well as King Christian X and Queen Alexandrine of Denmark. Early in the day, the groom went to City Hall to obtain a marriage license, along with his brother-in-law-to-be, J.R. Booth, Jr. The clerk at City Hall, a Mr. Norman Lett, described the prince as respectable and polite, saying, "He came in just as an ordinary individual, unaffected and unassuming, a nice, pleasant young man." A luncheon was held at Prime Minister Mackenzie King's residence for the visiting members of the Danish royal family. The ceremony started at 4 p.m., taking place at the All Saints Anglican Church on Laurier. Before it started, a crowd of over 4,000 had already gathered, with excited onlookers crawling on top of snowbanks and even up telephone poles to get a better look. 1,000 official invitations had been sent out, more than twice the church's official capacity of 500, to dignitaries, foreign royals, members of the Canadian government, and Ottawa's social elite. In attendance were two former prime ministers, Robert Borden and Arthur Meehan, accompanied by their wives. Prime Minister Mackenzie King walked over from his residence after the luncheon, which luckily was just across the street from the church. Governor-General Lord Julian Byng and his wife Lady Byng were present as the official representation of the British Crown at the ceremony. Parliamentary work was suspended for the day, and members of the different political parties would put politics aside and gather inside the church for the event. The arrival of the bride caused a flurry of excitement outside the venue. Ottawa's chief of police had pressed every officer into service for the day, but those on duty still struggled to contain the crowd and keep people back. The two page boys carrying the bride's train briefly got separated from her in the rush of the crowd, and two police officers had to push their way through with the boys in order to reunite them with the trailing end of the wedding dress. The bride's dress was white Duchess satin with an ornamental front panel studded with pearls. It was the same wedding dress her mother had worn. Her veil was held in place with a band of pearls and rhinestones. She had a corsage of rubies and diamonds gifted to her by her father-in-law, Prince Valdemar, and a diamond bracelet, a wedding gift, from her father. The church was filled with white flowers, lilies and hyacinths, and the bride's bouquet was composed of lilies of the valley and maidenhair. The bride's attendants wore turquoise-blue crepe-style gowns embroidered with silver and blue forget-me-nots. The short service was performed by the Bishop of Ottawa, J.C. Roper, and who was assisted by a Reverend Hepburn. Prince Eric's father accompanied him up front as per Danish tradition. At the bride's request, the song "Till the Sands of the Desert Grow Cold" was played during the signing of the register. The wedding party consisted of 4 bridesmaids, including Ladies Elizabeth and Mary Byng, nieces of Lord and Lady Byng, a matron of honor, 4 ushers, including Prince Vigo, brother of Prince Eric, 2 flower girls, and 2 page boys. The aging J.R. Booth, then 96, did not attend due to an ongoing illness that he was still recovering from, though he had hosted the family for dinner celebrating the couple a few days before. The lumber baron had a lifelong dislike of publicity, and so probably didn't mind missing so public an event in any case. The crowd outside the church had grown to over 6,000 by the end of the ceremony, and the newlyweds had to be escorted through the excited crowd to their limousine by police. 2 women fainted, the bride's veil was knocked askew, and some lilies were torn from her bouquet, but everyone remained in good spirits. From the church, the couple were driven to the Booth family mansion on Charlotte Street for the reception. Among the wedding gifts the couple received were a red leather-bound collection of the complete works of Rudyard Kipling from Lord and Lady Byng, a Sheffield silver tea service tray, a large silver basket from Mr. and Mrs. Gunn of Montreal, a sterling silver picture frame from Prime Minister Mackenzie King, containing a picture of himself, a silver whiskey flask, a sterling silver cake basket, a set of bookends from Mr. and Mrs. Meehan, and a set of 6 colored liquor glasses. The couple would leave by train for Montreal, eventually sailing to London, the French Riviera, and finally to Copenhagen to celebrate with the Danish royal family. Surprisingly, the couple didn't move to the Prince's Ranch in Markerville, Alberta, and instead the couple moved to California, where they raised chickens and grew oranges. It was there in California where the couple would welcome their first child, a daughter, Countess Alexandra, in 1927. Shortly after, the farm unfortunately went under and the family moved to Holbæk, Denmark, where son Count Christian was born in 1932. While it was founded in love, the royal couple's marriage was not destined to last. In November 1934, the couple separated and mutually petitioned the King of Denmark to dissolve their marriage, and a divorce was granted in 1937. A few days after the divorce was finalized, the former princess married Thorkild Julesberg, her secretary and the son of the Copenhagen postmaster. The new couple settled in Bjerregaard, a traditional Danish royal estate where the former royal couple had lived for many years, and the former princess was allowed to maintain after her divorce and loss of her titles. She would visit Ottawa once more in 1936. In November 1940, the now Mrs. Lois Julesberg became increasingly ill. She died on February 27, 1941 in Copenhagen, aged just 44. Due to the war and German occupation of Denmark, news was slow to reach Canada, first arriving with her mother, then her brother, who made it public. Many in Ottawa were shocked as her illness was not widely known outside of the family. She was remembered for her voracious love of reading, her willingness to engage in social causes, and her love of painting and sculpting. Her will specified that she be buried in Ottawa next to her father, which was not possible at the time. But after the war, her body was transported back home, and she now rests in Ottawa's famed Beechwood Cemetery, the only Canadian to have become a royal. Prince Eric did not remarry. He died on September 10, 1950, in his sleep after an undisclosed long illness in Copenhagen, age 59. While it didn't have the perfect ending that everyone would have hoped for, the marriage of Lois Booth and Prince Eric bonded 2 humble nations together and marked a unique, if somewhat overlooked, chapter in royal history.
Prince makes his way down the aisle, led by the Bishop of Newfoundland. People in attendance now gently tossing Captain Crunch as the prince passes by, as of course is tradition.